What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival, and today me and Austin is out here in the wilderness again. We're looking for a spot to cook some mushrooms up that we harvested the other day, and this is a Native American land that we're on. You can tell us a little bit about it, Austin.
Yeah, so where we're at, it's actually an ancient Native American campsite. There are hundreds of thousands across the U.S. I highly respect the Native American culture, and it's one of my passions. I love history. I love anything to do with Native American artifacts. So I actually come to this land. It is private land, and I do have permission. And I will set up a big tripod sifter, and I will dig and excavate their campsite. So I've found all kinds of things from ancient cooking stones, soap stones, gorgets, banner stones, spear points, all kinds of things off of this land here. And I know a lot of people can get offended by that. They think that I could be disturbing the artifacts or anything like that, but there's no burial grounds here. And the way I look at it, that I'm preserving the history. Because in 10 or 20 years, this could be a neighborhood, houses will be built over top of it, and the artifacts will be lost.
True.
Yeah,
and then you lose out on the history and knowing what they did. You know, that's how we know that they were here and what they did. So
exactly.
Anyhow, we've been hiking through trying to look for a good spot. A lot of this is very dense woods, but there is some water down here. I don't know if you can see through the trees there, but we're looking to go maybe towards the water and actually set up make a fire and do some cooking. We got some new knives to test out, some new Essie knives. My good friend Patrick Rollins designed one of them, and then the Hungless too, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So we're going to try to get this fire started, and I got two knives to test out, and I got the Patrick Rollins. This is the Camp Lure Essie PR4, a new knife. Patrick's a good friend of mine, very knowledgeable guy. And then we got the Hungless 2, which I really do like. I like the smaller size of it. Both these are 1095, and a little bit smaller size for that, so a little bit easier to carry. It's got the same handle as the standard Hungless. Very nice sheath, molly back and all that kind of stuff, Kydex. And the Patrick's knife, the PR4, has a very nice leather sheath. It has G10 handles, which I really like, and they're scalloped, so your fingers just like lock in. It has a new river wash. It's the new thing they got. It has a sharp spine to strike a ferro rod as well. So very good bushcraft knife. But we're going to start off with this Hungless to do some heavy duty work. See if we can get this wood chopped up. Hard piece of wood too. This Hungless gets it done like butter.
Alright guys, I've got here the Essie PR4, their Camp Lure knife. We're going to use this here to cut up some of our mushrooms and some of our other ingredients we're going to cook these mushrooms with. Alright, here is our beautiful chicken of the woods. We're going to cut some of this up. When you're preparing this, I I like to cut it in long strips personally. With some of your older ones, you want to make sure it's all good and tender. All this is good edible mushroom. You don't want to run this underwater when you're washing it. You can use a toothbrush or a mushroom brush, or even just use your hands and knock as much dirt, stuff of it off of it as you can. Let's go ahead and slice some of this up. These tips are really good and tender. I just like them in long strips like this. This is a good meaty mushroom, great texture. That's why it's called chicken of the woods. Texture's a lot like chicken. And it gets a little tougher towards the stem, but this was a young specimen. It's all still good to eat. Alright, next up is going to be our oyster mushrooms we harvested. They're a few days old, so you can see they're browning around the tips. In a survival situation, you could eat all of it, of course, but I'm going to cut them off and discard them just for culinary purposes. And these are really hard to clean. Again, you don't want to run water on them before you cook them. It messes up the texture as you cook. They'll be mushy and soft, but you can get as much out of the gills as you want, as you can. And these oyster mushrooms, the texture is not near as meaty. They'll cook faster, and it'll cook down almost into not as much. They'll soak up a lot of this butter we'll be cooking with. You can discard the stems on the oysters. The stems are really chewy. Don't really want those. In a survival situation, you would want to eat every bit of it though. Alright, so we'll cook these. Good to go like that. Some of our ingredients we'll be using today. We've got some Himalayan salt, some fresh organic thyme, organic garlic, grass-fed butter. Always like to use quality ingredients. These are my go-to ingredients with any mushroom whatsoever. I love the thyme, salt, garlic, butter. You can't go wrong. You could probably saute a turd and it would taste good with this stuff, if you know what I mean. Alright, now we're going to go to the garlic here. This knife is a really awesome knife. When Jack struck the fire starter there, it fired up very well. Love that spine on it. Very good spine. It's a great size knife, not only for bushcraft, but also for preparing food like this. You know, it's not too big. It's a good all-around knife. My go-to knife is this LT Wright knife. I've had this for many years. Can't quite remember the model, but it's my go-to knife. It was a gift from my father, so it's got some sentimental value to me too. You can see they're both good size, good all-around knife. Alright, so I'm melting the butter in the pan. In my opinion, you can never use too much butter. It's easy to burn the butter though, so cooking over a fire, it might be easier to use some type of oil or lard. Animal fat, any kind of animal lard would be also a good option. But I'm going to go ahead, these chicken of the woods or sulfur shells, they're going to take a little bit longer to cook. So I'm going to throw them in first. Get a little more heat going here. I've got these two sticks kind of lifting it up off the coals. That way I can control the heat a little bit. I can sit right down on the coals, or I can lift up if I need to. Alright, the coals died down, so Jack got the fire kicking again. As you can see, man, it really don't matter. It's a little easier to control the heat over coals, but you can cook over an open flame too. Just a method of putting it on and pulling it off to control your heat. These chickens are getting pretty good and cooked, so I'm gonna pull this out, we're gonna go ahead and throw our oysters in next. Get them down in that butter. Throw it back on the heat some. All right, so we got our oysters in, and it's what you want to see. You want to see the mushrooms begin to caramelize. That's how you know they're getting close to done. You don't want to really see any white anymore. Of course, they're soaking up all this butter really good. But I'm gonna go ahead and add in the flavor. All this fresh thyme and garlic. This pan I'm using here, it's cast iron. It's coated with enamel. It's probably my favorite mushroom pan, but any kind of cast iron is awesome to use. Go ahead and a little hot again. Throw some of this Himalayan salt on there. All right, guys, I think we're good to go. As you can see, the oysters, they really caramelize in color. That's how you know they're done. And the chicken, the colors will really pop out. You can see the oranges and the reds have really gotten really orange and really red there. And they are good to go. Jack, you go ahead and do the honors, man.
That's delicious.
That's what it's all about, man.
That chicken is good.
Being at a 5-star restaurant. Oysters are great too.
Yeah, the oyster tastes like something you would eat at a typical mushroom when you get like mushrooms on your pizza or something like that. The chicken actually has like a meaty taste. Very good.
Delicious.
In a survival situation, this is something you would definitely want to find. So, yeah, amazing job. All right, guys. So that was us cooking some oyster mushrooms and chicken of the woods, the sulfur shelf, and you saw us harvest those in the past few weeks in other videos. So now you should, see how we harvest them and then how we cook them, and they're delicious. I enjoyed it. Also, we ran 2 new Essie knives today, the Hungless 2, which is a shorter version. I'll put all the specs and all that kind of stuff, or link to get all the specs and all that kind of stuff below. 1095 coated, flat grind, smaller version. Very good knife, very heavy duty Kydex sheath. And then we have, that one has my Carta handles, and then we have the my good friend Patrick Rollins Camp Lure knife, the PR4, and has a good, G10 handle with grip, scallop grip, very good spine. I like the wash on it, very good sheath. You like that one a lot. You used it processing those mushrooms.
Yeah, good all around knife.
So, anyhow, anything to say? Let us know about Austin.
No, man, thanks for watching. It's an honor to be here with you, Jack.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
And make sure you subscribe. We'll do more videos coming up, more videos similar to this. We're talking about maybe doing some, fishing and stuff like that, where we show survival techniques from catching all the way to preparing and cooking, so in the wild. So I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe. Thanks.